Alright, this is Sunday evening, 29th June, and a good thing about Sundays is you get more time to look at stocks and to do everything that you couldn't do over the weekend. So I'm sitting here with Jasmine and we're going to look at a few stocks. She's going to give me some of her thoughts. I'm going to give some of my thoughts, and perhaps these thoughts can be helpful to you. I will be discussing a bunch of stocks that I will be tracking for the week and weeks to come. So hopefully it's going to help you out. Okay, firstly, when we're starting with stocks, we always start with the blue dot list. You guys might have other ways to screen your stocks, and that's totally fine. But it's always nice, firstly, to screen high strength stocks, stocks that are closer to their 52-week average, because that is something O'Neill always talks about. Always look at stocks near their 52-week highs, within 10-15% of their 52-week highs. These are stocks displaying strength, and you should now trade bases in these stocks. So blue dot is a stock whose relative strength hits 52-week high, and it's either building a base pattern or breaking out of a base. So I've gone through a couple of stocks and we'll discuss a few. These are not recommendations. These are totally for educational purposes. Moving on, we'll not only look at a few stocks, we'll also look at some IPO bases that are setting up.
It looks good.
Yeah.
You can see there's a lot of volume. That means the stock's been traded a lot.
Okay,
and
high volumes.
High volumes, and then that means there's a lot of money flowing into it.
Right. And then if we look at the stock, we had a breakout, sort of went into this little decline, and now it's broken out strongly. And if we were to trade it, then perhaps this sideways area could be traded, give it 1 or 2 additional days.
Yeah, if it breaks out of that sideways.
If it breaks out of this area, it could be traded. It's good to always look at catalysts and fundamental factors that may be affecting a stock's move. And if other players in this sector are doing well, that's even better. So that's how we're going to go about this. Moving on, let's look at Shankara Building Products. What do you think of this?
I think it had been, it looks like it could have been traded.
Out here at the breakout?
Not at this one. I thought on the other one, after the sideways one.
Right. I think, yeah, you're right. Actually, this was a far better entry than this one. So this entry was not ideal. I'll tell you why, because a lot of breakouts tend to fail, right? But what we saw in this breakout was that the breakout was very linear. It broke out strongly. It was a nice, healthy move. William O'Neill is okay with strong moves. Kuala McGee loves moves that are 30% plus and that are also exhibited with high volume. So we're just going to highlight the volumes real quick. And after that, the stock displayed a very healthy consolidation. Actually, consolidations are not this healthy in every stock, but this one went very nicely sideways and broke out strongly. So this would have been a very nice purchase. After that, what we've seen is another strong leg. So if we want to trade this, and we can, but out of this sideways zone, which means we will have risk reward calculated, a very nice measured stop loss, and this will be a pretty decent trade. So that's Shankara Building Products. Moving on to our third stock is Banco. I actually wanted to discuss this because stocks like these can be very hard to trade. They are incredibly volatile, and you see a lot of these stocks in United States for sure. Now let's look at the past a bit. We had this first breakout and the stock just ripped. It just went straight up. These are the sort of strong moves we're looking for.
How much did it move up by?
This is the Kuala McGee strong move. What a beauty. This is a 73% move right away, and then went really tight. Would have been a lovely trade out of this area if you come to think of it. But it breaks down. This actually reminds you, never take a trade in advance. If this area broke, of course, we could have expected a nice move, but we also could have expected some more days to base up because this is a tremendous move.
But I don't think the first leg, how would you have guessed trading that?
No, we don't trade. This 70% move, unfortunately, we could not have taken advantage of.
Yeah, because I don't think you could have, I don't see any reason to trade it.
Yeah, but I think if it went sideways here and then broke out, that would have been a nice trade. Right? So what I'm trying to say is out here we could have entered.
Yeah, that means this looks like more like a bad institutional.
Yeah, it fizzled out. But now if we draw this resistance, because this clearly is a seller's zone, let's not forget it. What we've seen is something similar happening. We have this one, again, tremendous move from the same areas of 400. So 400 is a buying zone for this stock. It's gone completely sideways. It actually broke out. I think this actually was a loss-making trade, wasn't it? What do you think? This breakout here. Yeah, that was a loss-making trade, but it's not giving up. It's setting up again. If this stages a shakeout and then moves out of this zone, I would want to trade it. But because of its behavior, I would want to have a lesser position size.
Yeah.
But very volatile, looking beautiful. This is the kind of stuff that makes you tons of money. So Banco is something that's going to be on my watch list for sure.
But would you trade it from this point? Like when it breaks out this high, or
It really depends. That's a good question. Where would I actually enter? It really depends where it gives us a pivot. If it goes sideways within this range for 3-4 days, I trade this area. I need a platform to trade the stock out of. Is that clear?
yeah.
Moving on, we have Subros. Yeah, beauty. I think this is again more educational. We had this little breakout happen that fizzles out. Then we have a declining trend line, something that we saw in NACL Industries as well. Something beautiful happens out of this trend line, that we have a strong breakout. You have to memorize these breakouts, guys. We have a strong linear move, and then we have a very solid setup. Right, this was a very solid setup, and we have a nice breakout. After that, what we've seen is another strong linear move, and now the stock has corrected very nicely. If it goes sideways out here, which I think it will, I think this area could again be traded. So Subros is something that we have to watch out as well.
The area after that can be traded.
The area when the breakout happens,
Yeah, not that area.
But the tremendous purchase would have been at this level. Because we were banking on this strong move. So banking on this strong move, we got to take an entry out here. That would have been a neat area. And this is something that you can see that it's repeating quite a lot. Choice International, it's literally the same. It's literally the same. We have a descending trend line, and then we have a strong mover. So I think what we saw out here, Subros, is literally the same as Choice International, and even better, it went sideways. So if you think that the market is not giving you a lot of setups, I think you're just not doing your homework enough.
I think it's also an example of that, how patterns repeat themselves.
Patterns are always repeating themselves. You need one good pattern to make a lot of money. Just stick to it. And Jasmine is going to start taking trades very soon. When do you think you want to start taking trades? In a month? In 2 months?
I think in a month.
In a month she'll start taking trades. So that encircled area would have been a very nice zone. Now the question I have is, would you want to trade this area? What do you think? Would you want to trade this area?
If it breaks out of that area, I wouldn't have traded that, I think.
No, of course we're going to trade the breakout, but would you trade it? Because see, in this area we see volumes declining. We don't see a lot of volumes.
That's what.
Right? So I would actually not be very comfortable trading this move. But I really loved this move. This was beautiful. So this move, I think we can ignore. One thing I'm liking about Home First is that it's broken out, of this nice large base. But I would say let it give you a sideways consolidation. Let it give you a sideways area, and then we can worry about it. As of right now, nothing to do in Home First as well, but keep it on your watch list for sure. Similar with the NH, Narayana, Hrudayalaya, moving up, strong mover. Let's just see what it wants to do. As of right now, there's nothing to do except watch. Why I've mentioned here Laurus Labs is because we're seeing a classic volatility contraction pattern where we're seeing higher highs and we're also seeing higher lows. So this is a classic volatility contraction pattern, because remember, the volatility contraction doesn't have to be higher lows and flat resistance. So what people think of volatility contraction is this. Right? This one has lower highs and higher lows. A volatility contraction pattern can also have a flat high and higher lows. So this one. But it can also have higher highs and higher lows. So for those of you who trade the VCP, the stock is an entry right now above I think 680. It's quite an entry, but we're going to wait for some strength. We're going to wait for some volumes to come in and then definitely trade it. The VCP might have impact for weeks and months for sure. Another beauty, Nazara Tech, where we have this resistance that we had, and then we have a strong move out and the stock is going sideways. So out of this zone, I think Nazara Tech will be a beautiful purchase. Because Nazara is moving out, it would be nice to look at all digital India companies, see how they are doing. Reliance Power, again, solid mover, but very similar to Nazara that we saw right now. We have this sort of breakout happening, strong move, and then it's gone sideways. Volumes have really dried up. One breakout and this should be good. But also this is a circuit stock, so finding entries may not be very easy. Similarly, I think Reliance Power is moving out because we're again seeing these strong moves and it's breaking out of this area. So again, I think this is a circuit player, but both of these companies are moving out. Definitely something that we should be trading. Now let's move on to some IPOs. This is Prostarm Info Systems. I don't know what the company does, but I think it's into inverters. Yeah, of UPS systems. I don't know how this company could be a great mover, but then we got to rely on the charts. We've seen a nice move out. It's gone sideways from here, and you could trade this stock in the coming days. It's displaying high volumes, firstly. It's a pretty liquid stock. If you see, volume here is in 7 figures. I've seen that anything in 7 figures here has high liquidity and high volumes. Something similar is Oswal Pumps. It's gone sideways for 3 days and broken out here. A bit extended. Schloss, Banglore. This is actually the Leela group of hotels. It's called Schloss. It's recently listed. We had a little move down and then it's setting up out here. So Schloss, this base can be traded. If it goes sideways from here, beautiful. We'll have a nice risk reward entry. Volume, let's see what the volumes are. Volumes are not the best. Yeah, let's see out here what the simple indicator tells us. Simple volume indicator. Schloss, Bangalore, the Leela. And we're seeing some 50 crore volumes, which is fine. I think this can be totally traded. There's no worries about it. Another one is Aegis Vopak Terminal. This is actually a joint venture between Aegis Logistics and Vopak of Netherlands, I think. So we have a nice base setting up. It's also a very, very high volume stock. So this is something that we ought to be watching in the coming days. Then we have another one, Belrise Industries. Let's see what Belrise does. I'm actually curious to find out. What Belrise does is it's an original equipment manufacturer. Very liquid stock is in crazy volumes, and out of this zone, this stock can definitely be traded. If we look at the hourly charts, things are looking beautiful. Actually, if it goes sideways out here on the hourly chart, this little area can definitely be traded, and that could be your pivot. Yeah, you had a question.
I think you're going too fast. You're covering too many stocks.
Okay, yeah, next time let me know in the feedback if I'm going too fast, if you guys are not able to follow up, if I should go slower. The next video onwards we can make those changes, because ideally we should be doing this every Sunday.
Yeah, and we should do it a bit more like elaborate.
Yeah, we will. You see, let us know in the comments, whatever comments you have, whatever feedback you have. This is only video 1. Ather's actually broken out. We have a nice little breakout stage here, good volumes. A good sideways area out of here can be traded as an IPO base. Finally, we have something called Quality Power, which we missed actually. Would have been a good trade. This is something that we must learn. So this is educational. We had this little base break, okay? We had a little base form up, and this breach was pretty beautiful. Look at those volumes down here.
Yep.
Look at those volumes. This was a nice 37% breach. And when it goes sideways out here, this is the stuff you want to be trading. It doesn't look obvious. People are not going to be talking about it, but this is the stuff that can make you a lot of money. Now it's gone nicely linear. If it goes sideways, then I think another chance we can give to this stock, but we got to be very careful because it's still an IPO and we might see a bunch of selling coming in. And finally, Hexaware Tech. Nothing special, but we have this sort of breakout coming up. This first breach could not sustain. Let's see what happens this one. Another stock that you could keep on your watch list. So these are a bunch of stocks that we will be watching religiously in the week to come, in the weeks to come. Let us know what you think of this list. Let us know what you think of this method. Let us know if you'd like us to make more of these or to make them more elaborate or whatever feedback you have, but we'll keep doing this consistently. Are you finding stocks interesting?
Yes.
Yeah? All right. Perfect then. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much. God bless you all.